Hello guys, what's up? Jack Han here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going over how I get ready for an interview. I just got an interview to Oregon Health and Science University. I'm extremely excited, so let's go! Alright, so I hope that everyone's having a great day. This is going to be a two-part video. In this video, I'm just going to go over how I prepare for the interview, what I did the day before the interview, leading up until the day of the interview. It seemed like I was completely free Tuesday, May 19th, so I ended up choosing that option. Just a few moments later, I got an interview confirmation from Oregon. So what I did next is I downloaded the WebEx technology. It was an app on your phone. Also, there's a space that I could put additional information while signing up for the interview. So obviously I asked if I could film or use some voice or pretty much just make a YouTube video documenting this experience. And later, after a few emails, I got this final email giving me the permission to use this for YouTube and give you guys all valuable insight on how I prepare for an interview. So with this little snippet done, we're gonna move on to Past Jack, as he will tell us about how he prepared for the OHSU dental school interview. Keep in mind that Past Jack was unfortunately really tired this night and didn't have a lot of energy and or enthusiasm while talking. May you please excuse the low entertainment value of the rest of this video and focus on the information that will be given. And guys, I wouldn't be a YouTuber if I didn't tell you guys to destroy that like button, hit the subscribe, and hit the turn on notification button right beside the subscription button so you can be notified of my future videos. With the self-promotion part completed in the video, let's move on to the good stuff. Hey guys, so my interview is tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. It is currently 8 p.m. and I'm just going over all the emails, checking to see if there's any paperwork or like just to prepare and be mentally aware of what's gonna go on throughout the day. Definitely recommend you do this. It turns out that there are 3 different things I have to complete. One is the code of ethics. I have to sign that and send it. I have to forward over a passport style photo of myself, and I also have to complete the supplemental application. So not only was there the primary application, then the secondary application, now there's a supplemental application for the interview. So I'm gonna do that right now, and then I'll prepare for the interview. Oh, I'm supposed to be looking here, not the screen. Alright, so I finished the School of Dentistry School of Dentistry supplemental application for admission form, and also the Oregon Health Science University School of Dentistry Ethical Code of Conduct. Now the last thing I need to do is take a passport style photo. So, and we done. Focus on that. Yeah. Whenever I go to take passport photos, I always try and like give a little bit of a smirk in there because they're like, oh, don't smile, you're not allowed to smile, and I'll just be like. So I just finished submitting all my forms. Now I'm going to start preparing for the interview, and I'm going to start by going onto their website and looking for a few things. 1, if there's anything that stands out to me that's unique about them. 2, if I like anything about the school or what they're about, or maybe something that they have that another school doesn't, I want to point that out as well. And also just try and take in general information so you can know some things about the school. Because they could ask you, oh, what do you like about our school? Or why would you come here rather than somewhere else? I remember in one of my interviews, the interviewer actually asked me if I had other schools that have given me offers already. And at first, I didn't know how to answer that question. I don't think I answered it that well because at first I was being vague. I hesitated, and then I said, yeah, there are other schools. And then she was asking how many schools, and then I said there were some. And then she had to ask again, and then I told her the number of schools that I was already interviewed at. Looking back on that experience, I think what they appreciate more is you just being upfront about it. So the best way to answer that type of question would be to say, oh, yes, I've been to 3 other interviews, this is why, and then direct it to this school. This is why I like this school the most. This is why I can see myself going to your school and not the other schools. And you can just frame it in a way, even if it's not your top choice, you can frame it in a way where you convince them that you would be happy going here. And you should be as well. Of course, don't go to a school that you don't want to go to. Anyways, that was a little off topic. I'm going to look at this website now, and I'm on the official website, as you can see there. And then I'm going to jot some notes down, and I will show you guys later. So I'm going through the website right now, and the age of last year's class, the oldest person that was admitted and entered last year's class was 43 years old. Look at this. 43. Oh my god. So it is never too late to apply to dental school, get accepted wherever you are in life. So don't use that as an excuse, because if you really want to do dentistry, you can do it at any point of your life to an extent. So just by browsing through the website, this is what I gathered. All these points that I'm about to go over, not every single dental school has each and every single one of these points, which is why they would be good points to bring up in the interview. Also, this is just good to know because you want to make an informed decision on where you're going to be spending your next 4 years. So what I have listed is that it is in Portland. Here you can explain how you've heard good things about Portland, how you can bring on previous knowledge. Like, I know that Portland has a lot of restaurants per capita, and that you wanted to be in a new setting, you think it would help you grow. Another thing I said was diversity and inclusion is the university's first goal in its Vision 2020 strategic plan. So I found this on the website, and they quoted, "Be a great organization, diverse in people and ideas." And if you look at their demographics, this is pretty true. They have a good amount of Asian people as well as Caucasian, and you can say that dental care is more efficient when you work with a diverse group of people. You can learn about the tendencies of their cultures, as well as learning with how to deal with different types of patients. Another thing Oregon has going for it is that students get to see their first patient during fall quarter. This is where you can bring on some of that excitement, because at least for me, I'm really excited about seeing patients. I want to see patients as soon as possible. And if you can get me in fall quarter, that's very soon into dental school, and I'd be really ecstatic. And you can show that to the interviewer and your genuine enthusiasm towards seeing and then treating patients. Another point is that OHSU has specialties. So you can frame this both ways too. If the school has specialties, then you can frame it positively in the way that, oh, because it has specialties, I'm able to shadow and learn from people that are in the specialty. And if a school doesn't have a specialty, you can say that you like how the school doesn't have specialties, because that means a lot of the more challenging cases, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with them, and they won't just go to the specialist right away and without you getting a chance to see and learn from their cases. And finally, I wrote down that they have research. They're a big research institution. Personally, I don't know if I want to do research or not, so I would express that to them, and also say that I'm just happy that they're, if I choose to do research, that the opportunity is there for me to do so. So yeah, that is what I learned and what I liked about the OHSU school from their website. Now I'm going to see the specific interview questions that they use. You can't see specifically, you can't know 100% sure which interview questions they'll ask you, obviously. But if you go on SDN and do a quick search there, you can find a lot of the questions that have been asked before. And then you can prepare for as many as you want, or all of them, to be really prepared for the interview in case that they recycle and reuse any of the questions. So here I can show you what I mean. We're on the Student Doctor Network site, and we can see a lot of information about the school. We can see how previous applicants thought about the interview, what their stress levels were. This is actually extremely low. I've never seen a graph with the stress level this low before, as well with the positivity. Maybe everyone that goes there is just really positive. And this just looks super inflated too, but yeah, here are the stats. Wow, a lot of people think that they did extremely well. Usually you have, more of a gradient right here, at least from my experience. And now you see all of the questions. So here you can see view all questions and responses, and you can just write all these questions down on a Word document is what I do, and then answer them. Alright, so I went over SDM and I looked at all the different questions. I wrote a lot of them here. It seems like these questions really confirm the low stress time that other applicants have had with this interview, because they are pretty basic interview questions. And this is really good for the video because there are some of these questions that you really need to know for any interview. One tip I have is, before you answer all these questions, is to reread your application. Hopefully at this point you've had time to do mock interviews. If you haven't had the time to do that, definitely do some mock interviews. And whenever you have an opportunity to go to a dental school interview, if you have the funds and money and you have the luxury of having enough money to go to the interview, definitely do it, because I saw a dramatic increase from the level of my first interview to my last interview. I was a lot more comfortable, confident, and answered questions better, and the interview just went a lot more smoothly after I got some under my belt. So 5 interview questions that I have written down here as well that you really need to know the answer to is: why dentistry? Why this school? Talk about your research. Tell me about yourself. And what are your hobbies? These are interview questions that come up so often, and really every school is going to ask some of these in one way or another. If this was one of my first interviews, I'd definitely be jotting notes down here, things I don't want to forget to say, and review the questions a few times. However, I have done many interviews now, so I do feel really comfortable about the answers that I already had in my head, and that I am going to be able to pull them out of me when the interview asks me a question. If we weren't in this quarantine situation, I'd definitely be doing this in my hotel, but since we are in the current situation, I'm just doing it at my home. So in the future, I definitely plan on making videos about how to answer interview questions properly and efficiently. If you would like to see that, definitely hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you know when my videos come out. Another thing I like to do before going to bed is reviewing the next day's activities. So at 8:30, I have a writing sample I have to produce and provide, and then at 9 a.m. is going to be my one-on-one interview. At 12, I'm going to have a virtual conversation with current dental students. I'm guessing that part is going to be more of a relaxing time, and you can really ask the dental students anything you want. And finally, 2:30 is going to be the closing session. So this is pretty much what a regular interview day looks like. Of course, at the interview, they do offer you lunch, which varies from school to school, but usually the interview days do take this type of format, and they are around this length. The only one that I've been to that was a lot longer, or no, slightly longer, was University of British Columbia. The Canadians' interviews make American interviews look like light work. So after the UBC interview, this type of interview looks very doable and simplistic. Since I need to log on to their WebEx at 8:30, I'm going to get up at 7 a.m. just so I can have a protein shake, some breakfast, and some coffee in me, make sure I'm awake and all set up for the interview. Make sure the night before that you make it easier on yourself for the next day, the interview day, by laying out your suits, getting everything ready if you need to bring anything to the interview. On interview day, you're probably going to be more stressed and might forget something, so it's always good to do it the night before. Definitely prepare your suit. So yeah, if you can't tell, I'm really tired and I'm gonna go to bed.
Right before going to bed, what I usually like to do is read over all your notes that you wrote about the school, what you liked about the school, as well as the interview questions and the notes that you wrote under the interview questions. I know I didn't do that, but you should definitely write down notes about what you want to say, what points you want to hit on for the different interview questions. That way you can go to sleep, and when you wake up, a lot of the information is just going to be memorized into your head while you sleep. I forgot what the scientific reasoning behind it was, but just trust me, it works. So on that note, I will see you bright and early in the morning for the interview. Alright, so I got ready for bed, and it is, what time is it? 12:02. So I'm gonna wake up at like 7:15, get 7 hours of sleep. One thing I forgot to mention is I usually meditate at night when I go to bed. So I'm going to do that again because you want to stick to your routine. You don't want to break your routine because it will get your body out of whack. So I am on day 6 of the 7 days to focus. And the meditation app I'm using is Calm. It's a great one. There's other really just as good ones like Headspace and Insight Timers was one that I used a long time ago. But this is just the one I'm using right now. So with that, I'll see you guys in the morning. For real this time.
Welcome to day 6 of the 7 days of focus.